Always Best Care specializes in helping seniors who wish to remain in their home but need assistance. Our flexible care programs vary from hourly to live-in. Simply put, we're there when you need us. And Always Best Care is a DPW-approved Medicaid provider. Call today and we'll meet with you to develop a personalized care plan. Always Best Care Senior Services. Doing more, caring more, and dedicated to exceeding your expectations. Always.
Did you know he'll help you understand? Did you know always a right-hand man? Did you know he's gonna make it clear? Did you know? Come on, listen here. Did you know?
Hello, welcome to the Did You Know Show. My name is Brian Green. Today, I bring you to the Library Company, which is down here in Center City, Philadelphia. It is the oldest institution in the country, and according to my notes, it was founded 1731 by Benjamin Franklin, who had the earnest desire to put books in ordinary people's hands. And so we're here today with three very informative individuals, starting off with Dr. Michael Passante, who is the Edwin Wolf Second Director. My good friend and sometimes co-radio host, Rachel Hammer, the Chief Development Officer. And we have from North Carolina A&T, Jasmine Smith, who is the African American History Specialist and Reference Librarian. Shout out to the Aggies.
Aggie Pride.
Aggie Pride, okay. And so we're here to talk about the Library Company. So in unison or one by one, can you guys tell me about the history of the Library Company? Dr. Mike or Rachel?
Well, I think probably the place to start is that we were the first public library in what's now the United States, one of the first public libraries anywhere.
Okay.
And we were founded by Ben Franklin and a group of his friends because they were voracious readers. They loved reading, but they didn't have books were expensive and hard to come by. So they decided, what if we all pooled our money? What if we all put in some money together and started a company to buy books together? And that basic model has been in place here for over 280 years.
So, Rachel, is it true that you guys have been in operation for 287, according to my notes? 287 years.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we were chartered in November 1731, as Mike discussed. And the popularity and the success of the library grew like wildfire. Over the course of the years, we've had 11,000 members, or shareholders as we like to call them. We were the first Library of Congress, and really the Libraries Company's history is woven into the evolution of social democracy here in the United States. The signers of the Declaration of Independence and the writers of the Constitution utilized our collections to write those documents and to really become a learning center and a basis for colonists to understand what it meant to be independent and to take the rights and privileges of citizenship seriously. And we had branches all throughout the city of Philadelphia. One day a week, every Saturday, they would open up the Library Company to people who were not shareholders, who were not members of the library, who could come and learn and still utilize the collections and utilize the books.
So please describe your historical collections, if you don't mind. What do you have here?
Well, the easiest way to think about it is to think that the collection was built by a group of people who at first bought really practical books, how to farm, how to run your business, books about history and philosophy. And we have all those books. So going back all the way to 1731 and 1732, we have some of the first books that we bought. So as a result, for scholars, they can come into this collection, and if they want to know what people in Philadelphia were thinking about in 1740 or 1820 or 1850, you can look at the Library Company's collection to know what people were reading and what they were thinking about. Our collection, we have about 1 million items in the collection. Most of those are books, about 650,000 books, and then we have a lot of prints and photographs and also artifacts. But all of them taken together tell the story. It's like this big time machine, where if you really want to learn what was really going on in this country around the time it was founded or in the 19th century, all of that material is here: newspapers, advertisements, photographs, and books. So it's mostly printed material. But it's material that all tells that story of what was really going on at that time and is available for researchers and for the public alike.
So Jasmine Smith, you know, my North Carolina A&T alumni, Aggie Pride. Can you tell me about the program in African American history and your African American history collection?
So the program in African American history at the Library Company strives to make a vital contribution to understanding the lives of African Americans during the 17th and 18th century. The program is a space for people to come and have intellectual conversations about human, cultural, social, and political economic factors during America. And then you wanted me to tell you about our collection.
Sure.
So the African American collection consists of about 15,000 documents.
Oh, wow.
And roughly 1,200 images. Majority of the images are online and have been digitized. So the collection consists of documents dealing and pertaining to slavery, the abolition societies, free and escaped slaves. It also talks about the Western discovery and exportation of Africa.
Oh, wow. So, Rachel or Dr. Basante, tell me what are some of your favorite collection items?
One of my favorite collection items is a checkout slip from one of the delegates to one of the constitutional conventions. And it's from 18th century, and it just is a little slip that shows that he was borrowing a copy of Thomas Paine's Common Sense from the library.
Okay.
And it's an ordinary item. It's not all that dramatic, but to me it's a great document that shows how people involved in the founding of the United States used this library and how the information inside it became a part of their knowledge and really added to the creation of these documents.
It's my understanding that you are in the process of completing a campaign to endow the program in an African American history program. Rachel, I guess that's up your alley.
That is. The campaign started in 2013 to endow the program in African American history. It not only endows acquisitions, publications, and public events, so the general public can get a sense of our collection and utilize and learn from history so it can influence today and tomorrow. It endows 4 short-term fellowships to allow scholars from all over the world to come and study for 1 month. It also endows a dissertation fellowship to allow someone to come and study either for 5 or 9 months and really complete their doctoral work. It's a phenomenal program that allows people to come together and really learn and study together as a cohort to understand some of the invisible stories that are found in our archives, and we need scholars to discover them and then shout them out to the public.
Well, let's hold on. Let's take a break. I'm going to tell you that today's show is sponsored by Always Best Care Senior Services. We provide in-home care primarily to seniors. But we're going to come back on the other side and continue our conversation with Rachel Hammer and Michael Dickinson about the African American History Program and the Mellon Scholars Program. So stay tuned.
Did you know?
Taking care of my mother is so hard. All my life, she gave me the best care she could. Now it's my turn. I have to find my mom the best care.
At Always Best Care, our caregivers are matched to meet your needs. And we even give you access to on-call, round-the-clock physician support, along with your in-home care. If you need help with your mom or dad, call 1-302-409-3710 or visit alwaysbestcaredelaware.com.
Always Best Care specializes in helping seniors who wish to remain in their home but need assistance. Our flexible care programs vary from hourly to live-in. Simply put, we're there when you need us. And Always Best Care is a DPW-approved Medicaid provider. Call today and we'll meet with you to develop a personalized care plan. Always Best Care Senior Services. Doing more, caring more, and dedicated to exceeding your expectations. Always.
Did you know?
Hi, welcome back to the Did You Know Show. My name is Brian Green. Today we're continuing our conversation at the Library Company, which is located in Philadelphia. The Library Company is the oldest institution in the country. It was founded in 1731 by Benjamin Franklin for the express purpose of putting books in the hands of ordinary people. Joining me and continuing the conversation, we have Dr. Michael Dickinson. He's a former fellow of the Library Company and the Mellon Scholars Advisor. welcome. And then we're going to continue our conversation with Rachel Hammer, who's the Chief Development Officer. So, Michael, I understand you oversee the Mellon Scholars Program and are the advisor to its participants. Tell us about it.
I do. I have the pleasure of being the advisor to wonderful students. And so every year we meet with a group of students selected based off of strict criteria and their interest in African American history, and most importantly, careers in African American history. And so these are students from underrepresented backgrounds, and we want to try to encourage them and equip them with all that they need to apply for graduate school and further their studies in African American history to produce the books of the next generation and tell the stories that have not been told.
Wow, passing the baton. So can you tell me a bit about the Mellon Scholar Program and its mission?
Sure. So the mission of the Mellon Scholars Program is to help these students who again, are from underrepresented backgrounds and help them to understand and process how to achieve their dreams of really going after careers in African American history, whether that be in libraries, institutions like Library Company, or at universities like myself, becoming the next professors and educators. And so what we go through is a process in trying to teach them how to apply to graduate school, how to have competitive applications, as well as how to conduct research, historical research, and archives in African American history, and really engage with history beyond just the page of a book.
Wow. So tell me a bit about your history with the Library Company. It's my understanding that you have worked with the program for the last 5 years.
Yes.
And that you're a former fellow as well.
Yes.
So you really kind of cemented in the history of this place to a certain degree.
Yes.
And you're really connecting the information. They say if you put a book in a child's hands or a young adult's hands, you give them a different perspective.
Certainly.
But tell us about your history with the Library Company.
Sure. So I was actually introduced to the Library Company through my former advisor, Dr. Erica Armstrong Dunbar. She was the former director of the Program of African American History. And so she introduced me to this wonderful institution and really instilled in me a love for the Library Company, but also for archives, and helped me to see this as an institution that could really help me further my work. And so I joined the program 5 years ago, and we started out this venture to start the Mellon Scholars Program and the internship and the workshop. And since then, it's been extraordinarily rewarding. We have students all over the country, Yale, we have Harvard, students in PhD programs at UT Austin, all over the country, and it's extraordinarily rewarding to see students grow. Not only these students, but also my own work. And I use the archives for my dissertation. I'm using it for my upcoming book, and their archives are extraordinarily rich and extraordinarily helpful in trying to examine enslaved and free people of African descent in early American history.
So, Rachel, I want to get back. I cut you off a little bit before we took the break. You were, talking about the endowment campaign support. Can we go back to that for just a second? And
Sure.
And can you just kind of give us the abridged version of what it's all about?
So the Light and Liberty campaign to endow the program in African American history is really dedicated to raising over $2 million to provide a permanent endowment to make sure that the scholarly activities and public events and programs that allow us to tell the story of African American history here in the United States and globally doesn't go away, that it is able to exist in perpetuity.
Okay.
And so that $2 million campaign will allow us to have fellows and public events and programs and publications. It will allow us to continue to collect. We've been collecting African Americana since 1773. It isn't a new endeavor. Since our inception, we have been very lucky, as our directors were, to be connected to the African American community. Many of our founders were abolitionists and really believed in free intellect and free people, and our collections represent that. So it doesn't only tell the story of slavery, but it tells the story of the African American people as they existed, and it allows us to see them not just as an enslaved people, but a free people with dreams and desires and wishes and cultures and relationships. So in our archives, you can really find that. And this endowment will be the catalyst to allow that to continue.
How can our viewership, find out more information about the Library Company from, either online or, I know we're down here in Center City, Philadelphia.
Absolutely.
and
Well, the
I-
Library Company has a wonderful digital footprint.
Okay.
You can go to www.librarycompany.org and you can learn all about the Library Company. We have public events and programs that are free and open to the community. Our Light and Liberty campaign to endow the program in African American history only has $10,000 left to be completed in full perpetuity. And so it will allow us to really cement these offerings to the community at large. Black History Month programs, Juneteenth, teachers workshops, educators workshops. On the Library Company's website, we have wonderful and phenomenal opportunities for teachers to download curriculum to allow their students to interface with our collections online. So if students or teachers can't get to the Library Company, all of it's available and made accessible not only just in the digital footprint, but opportunities to create your own curriculum in classrooms and then download materials. And our curators and librarians and scholars are available. We handle over 2,000 reference inquiries a year. That's people who can't come into the building, who are
Right.
calling from California or Maine or just across the river in New Jersey and want to know if we can be helpful in their research. In addition to that, we serve in total about 6,000 people a year, and 600 of those are scholars like Michael who are coming in and utilizing the archives and telling those stories that would otherwise be lost.
Right. So, Dr. Dickerson, if we can get back to you for just a second, can you tell me about your research and your work in African American history? Because it is relevant.
Sure. So my work engages not only the scholarly community, but also the population at large, trying to grapple with populations in Philadelphia and also Richmond, where I actually teach. And so my work really looks at the lives of enslaved blacks in cities in the United States and the Caribbean, particularly during the 1700s, and trying to envision the world through their eyes, through their families, through their communities, and how they're able to survive the institution of slavery. One that seems very remote to us now, but trying to engage in the world that they actually grapple with on a day-to-day basis.
Dr. Michael Dickerson, thank you for joining the show. Rachel, you're gonna stay put. And then shout out to Richmond, because I went to school in Petersburg, Virginia. Yeah, many a time I party at VCU. All right, so stay tuned. We're gonna come back. We're gonna round up our conversation. We're gonna talk about the public events and programs, specifically Juneteenth. Stay tuned.
Did you know?
Taking care of my mother is so hard. All my life, she gave me the best care she could. Now it's my turn. I have to find my mom the best care.
At Always Best Care, our caregivers are matched to meet your needs. And we even give you access to on-call, round-the-clock physician support, along with your in-home care. If you need help with your mom or dad, call 1-302-409-3710 or visit alwaysbestcaredelaware.com.
Always Best Care specializes in helping seniors who wish to remain in their home but need assistance. Our flexible care programs vary from hourly to live-in. Simply put, we're there when you need us. And Always Best Care is a DPW-approved Medicaid provider. Call today and we'll meet with you to develop a personalized care plan. Always Best Care Senior Services. Doing more, caring more, and dedicated to exceeding your expectations. Always.
Did you know?
Welcome back to the Did You Know Show. I'm Brian Green. I'm sitting here having a great time with the Library Company team. These individuals are great. Joining the conversation is Clarissa Lowry, who's a program and events coordinator at the Library Company. We decided to keep you. You were just giving us so much information, Dr. Dickerson, and you mentioned Virginia, so I had to keep you and talk to you. Can you tell me, Clarissa, about the public events and programs at the Library Company?
Sure. The Library Company offers over 30 programs a year. We have lectures, book signings, often with former fellows or people who use the library for research.
Okay.
We also have conferences, symposiums, and more recently we've started developing more engaging hands-on with the collection seminars that we offer 4 or 5 courses, and people work with the curators and primary sources to learn more about, the first one was about Benjamin Franklin.
Oh, wow.
The current one's about the exhibition that's up, which is William Russell Birch. So we really try to utilize people who've worked in the library and collections in the library to develop our public programming and events.
Can anyone attend the programs, or do you have a specific thing to be a member or a shareholder?
No, we love when people come into the library and want to learn with us. And we do have some events that are a discounted or free price for members and shareholders, but anybody is welcome to come and sit in and learn here at the library.
You know, last year, my team had the pleasure of being one of the sponsors for your Juneteenth celebration, and we did a live broadcast with, you mentioned her briefly, Dr. Erica Dunbar, who has this amazing book, by the way. But, can you tell me a bit about the history of Juneteenth and what it represents? Dr. Dixon.
Sure. So when we think about Juneteenth, these are celebrations that took place in Texas in June of 1865. After the enslaved population there, they heard about the end of the Civil War, and it took a while for that information to get to Texas, but as a result, celebrations broke out, and jubilees were had, and they have continued this present day. And now, historically, it's not only to celebrate Black freedom, but also to understand Black history, to grapple with where we have to go, and grapple with American society as a whole and its relationship to people of African descent. And so not only is it a celebration, but also it's a point of reflection, and we try to carry on that tradition here at the Library Company.
So, Clarissa, tell me about the Juneteenth Freedom Seminar that is happening on June 21st.
Yes, we're really excited. It's a little different format than what we've done in the past. We were there last year with a book signing and really interesting
It was very interesting.
Yeah.
It was engaging. It was full of information. We did a live broadcast. Dr. Dunbar read from her book, which was really intense. She wrote about the slave, what was it?
Ona Judge.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Who was Martha Washington's slave.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so this year, what are you guys doing? Tell me all about
We're
it.
going to have a presentation by Michael,
Okay.
and we'll also, in addition to celebrating Juneteenth, we're celebrating the completion, hopefully, of our NEH Challenge grant to permanently endow the program in African American history. And we're going to change it up a little bit. We have a spoken word and a musical performance. Our spoken word artist is Husna Haseen, who's the 2017-2018 Youth Poet Laureate in Philadelphia.
Oh, wow.
And she's from West Philly. She was first published when she was 10 years old.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
she's been featured in
She's amazing.
several youth poet anthologies and Apiary magazine. She's received the National American Voice Medal and awarded at Carnegie Hall. And her work focuses on her experiences as a young Black woman in America and in a broader global community. And we'll also have Keisha Hutchins performing, and she's an educator here in Philadelphia.
Okay.
I think she's an educator in Abington Friends School,
Yes.
isn't
Oh,
she?
wow.
And she was classically trained at Oberlin Conservatory. And I believe, didn't she win the
She received the Leeway Foundation Arts and Culture Grant for Women.
Right.
And her performance and her program is going to sort of take a journey through African American music and her sort of experiences performing that music as a Black woman and the context that music has had in history.
So we go from spoken word this year to snaps, not claps.
Yes.
And then we go to the music piece, and then it's my understanding, Dr. Dickinson, you're going to be speaking.
Yes.
Correct? You're the featured speaker, or the keynote speaker.
Yes.
What are some of the snippets that we can? What is the content that you're going to be featuring on?
Certainly. So hopefully it'll be as interesting as last year with Dr. Dunbar. That's a lot to live up to. But,
be phenomenal, I'm
right.
sure.
But so we're going to look at for the Juneteenth this year, Black liberation, past and present, realizing this is a moment of not only historical remembrance, but also again reflection on where we are as where people of African descent are as a community and where we are as individuals. And I'm going to try and take us through that step by step through the eyes of an enslaved individual known as Jeffrey Brace. And he was a veteran during the Revolutionary War, as well as there's actually a scholarship at the University of Vermont named after him in reflection of the injustices he suffered throughout time and space in American history as a veteran, as a person of African descent, and help us to understand as we transition through history, time, and space into present day, how do we understand where we are as a group of of individuals, where we see the Black individual throughout time and space in terms of oppression, and also in terms of the Black freedom struggle writ large throughout centuries and time and space, and where is that at now when we think of Black Lives Matter and all the sort of all of the struggles of people from African descent. Again, a celebration, but also an evaluation of how Black people of African descent have struggled and thrived and fought throughout the history of this nation and continue to do so in the present.
You know, to put a positive spin on it, I think the more we talk about where we've come, hopefully we won't have to go back.
Certainly.
And so, you know, and I'm all about multiculturalism and inclusion and diversity, and that's the interesting, you know, thing about this library company. It has preserved you know, things that have happened since the 17th century, which is really, to me, exciting. It's my pleasure again to be one of the sponsors. But you know, I want to know: is it open to the community, and how can people register for the Juneteenth celebration?
It is. It's open and free to the community. People can register at librarycompany.org/calendar.
Okay.
And it'll just take you to the registration
What
site.
time does it start?
It'll begin at 6:30 at the Trinity Center for Urban Life on 22nd and Spruce Street.
Okay.
And people, you know, if you don't get a chance to register online, you can walk in. We are open to anybody who wants to join us for the evening.
Okay, so as we round down, you know, thank you guys for letting, you know, Always Best Care Did You Know show come here and visit you guys. It's always a wealth of knowledge that I attain. You know, I feel like I'm your cheerleader silently, and just really just supporting the educators and just the, you know, the exchange of knowledge. Thank you, Dr. Dickinson.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, my good friend Rachel Hammer.
Thank you, Brian.
Very nice to meet you, Clarissa, and welcome
too.
welcome to the team. You've been here for a little bit. And so that's how we wind it down. Thank you for watching. I want to remind our viewers that I'm on the radio every Saturday at 4 p.m. on WURDradio.com, as well as 96.1 FM and 900 AM. The Did You Know show is centered around connecting people to home community business resources that they ordinarily wouldn't know about. Certainly the library company falls into that category. They have an awesome outreach. They have a curator. It's just one of these places that you have to check out. So stay tuned. Our next episode will feature the Dell Music Center, which is out in Philadelphia's Fairmount Park. Thank you and have a good day.
Did you know he'll help you understand? Did you know always a right-hand man? Did you know he's gonna make it clear? Did you know? Come on, listen here. Did you know? Did you know he'll help you understand? Did you know always a right-hand man?
Taking care of my mother is so hard. All my life, she gave me the best care she could. Now it's my turn. I have to find my mom the best care.
At Always Best Care, our caregivers are matched to meet your needs. And we even give you access to on-call, round-the-clock physician support, along with your in-home care. If you need help with your mom or dad, call 1-302-409-3710 or visit alwaysbestcaredelaware.com.
Always Best Care specializes in helping seniors who wish to remain in their home, but need assistance. Our flexible care programs vary from hourly to live-in. Simply put, we're there when you need us. And Always Best Care is a DPW-approved Medicaid provider. Call today and we'll meet with you to develop a personalized care plan. Always Best Care Senior Services. Doing more, caring more, and dedicated to exceeding your expectations. Always.